I was saying, the Hare Report is it's basically our newspaper for the Tampa Bay Dead Rabbits, and they have done such a good job that we named our divisions after them. So Hare Report North Division and Hare Report South Division. The two top teams in each division will have a playoff, and then the winner of each of that game will go into the Super Bowl, and the other two, the third and fourth teams will play, and the winner of that will have a better draft position the next year. The other thing we have is called the Donkey Bowl, and that is for the other 6 teams. So what will happen is those 6 teams will go into a 2-week playoff, and then the team that does overall best, so you're playing against every other team, and the team with the best record overall gets the first pick of the draft. So let me see. So the Hare Report, and we'll add up their points. So you just basically add up the points for the 2 weeks. And the Kentucky Colonels last year had the most points scored, so they wound up with the first pick of the regular draft this year. And the former Miami Outlaws, now Crimson Cowboys, had the second, so they have the second overall regular draft pick, and just like that. So it's all of a way to keep in mind that you don't want to totally sell off all your good players, because there's still something to gain at the end of the season for the next season if you do well in the playoffs. After the playoffs are all done, the 2 Super Bowl owners will put together an all-star team from their divisions, and then we'll play that in week 17, or the last weekend of the NFL regular season. And the winner of that game will have the home field advantage during the Super Bowl the next year. So let me go back to the standings here. So Hare Report North Division this year has home field advantage in the Super Bowl. And home field advantage is basically our tiebreaker. Whoever is the home team, if there's a tie, they win. So that's can kind of come in handy every once in a while. Doesn't happen very often, but it can come in handy. And our schedule is actually built with home and away games. So let's see. Anything else I want to go over? Yeah, when it comes to trades, now everybody's pretty seasoned, and because there's so much future building of teams, something may look like a bad trade on the surface, but if somebody's just rebuilding, they may give away something just to get draft picks or something. But we don't really have a trade committee. The only time we will really step in is if we think 2 teams are kind of doing some collusion. But I don't think anybody in the league will be doing that. If we do so, we'll pull in a outside committee. I'll never be part of that committee. I always will conduct a committee. And it's not a bad idea also, if you have a trade that you think everybody's going to be upset with, is to run it by the Sioux City Warriors team. He's kind of our level-headed minded owner. And I think it's because he's real short, but anyways, he always comes, he'll get in and dig into the stats and see if something, and he may even advise you on, hey, give this and this, or take something away. So he's usually pretty level-headed and sees through gets through the emotions of a trade. So Tim Tebow rule, basically we're going by well, that's a typo, but because I'm changed it this year. But both the official scoring and the position ratings come from CBSSportsline.com. So if a player carries two positions and is dual qualified, I guess you can say, you could play him at either or position of your choosing. So for some reason, if Tim Tebow was listed as a quarterback tight end, then you could play him as a tight end. But like the Tim Tebow rule, and if Tim Tebow comes into the game, his points will count towards, well, it should say Patriots quarterback points for the entire game. It's because he's part of the, since he's listed as a quarterback. So if he comes in as a different aspect, and Brady's playing and Tim Tebow are on the same field, and Tim Tebow does something, you get those points. So it's something to keep in mind if you have those guys that are like that. Let's see, anything else? Yeah, lineup submission. Lineups are always submitted prior Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday night. Sundays and Sunday nights games. So for Sunday games, all early game players must be submitted prior to 11 Central Standard Time. For Sunday afternoon games, players must be submitted by 15 Central Standard Time. There will be no default lineup, so you have to turn in a lineup every week, a text, email, or some sort of communication to one of the owners. We like to do this to league-wide. It just kind of helps us all police, but make sure you're doing that. And you can't submit a guy in a later game, obviously, and replace him for somebody in an earlier game. That just won't fly. Anything else here? There's lots of stuff on this file. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but let's see what else we got here. We have a frequently asked questions. You might want to go into that. We'll set up trade deadlines and pickup deadlines once the season starts. I think I went over all that. Scheduled transaction. Well, there is a transaction list, and as you can see, it's a running list. We keep quite a long list just because it helps us keep track of picks and everything. But every move you make, a pickup trade, will be listed in here. As you can see, our 2013s are already there. The only thing we don't put in there is draft picks. This is too many. Let's see what else we got. Contact list. Here's a good contacts with phone numbers. I advise everybody to look those over and keep those current so that owners can trade. It's a big texting trading league also. So down here is all the weeks. As you go into the weeks, we'll have the scores. One big thing here is to double check your scores of your games all the time because, well, frankly, I kind of suck at scorekeeping, but I am not doing it intentionally, I can assure you. I videotape everything, just make sure everything is kind of on the up and up with our pick selections and all that. So, and I'm sure you've all have seen the videos on that. And I think that's about it. So I'm going to wrap it up for now. And, good luck to all of y'all. And I think it'll be a good fight for second place. So give it your best effort. Peace out.